Welcome to Assembly V1.1. This assembly provides live monthly meetings with video broadcasts, as well as a chat room so all members can interact in real time. There is also an upcoming lecture series in which all members of the SAM are invited to attend. Can't make it to the meeting or lecture live? No worries, as all of it will be archived so it can be seen on demand for any active member of the society. The cost of all this? It's free for all members of the Society of American Magicians.
Welcome, my friends. I'm Joel Zaritsky. I'm the North Atlantic Regional Vice President. I'm glad to have you here. And the person, the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain.
Hey, it's John. Nice to see everybody.
Yeah, we got a fantastic episode. I literally got into my house here about 45 minutes ago. I was at the National Council meeting, the SAM National Council meeting in Omaha, Nebraska. I had a wonderful time meeting with Assembly 7 and going to the Wizards Ball, which there was over, Steve, correct me if I'm wrong about this, I think it was over 180 people actually at the ball. I believe that was the case. Fantastic time. But I've been traveling all day, so if I'm about to doze like that, just somebody slap me in the chat room here. I want to talk about upcoming episodes for Assembly V1.1. Sunday, February 22nd, we have Michael DeShalit. March 19th, Shawn Farquhar. April 19th, Danny Orleans, which is, I know, Danny, you're in the chat room here. Thanks for being here. Yeah, Danny! For those who do not know Danny Orleans, I've got a tremendous amount of his stuff all over the place here. It is the most high quality effects, the jumbo coloring book, the fans, the crayons, unbelievable stuff. So it's going to be a great lecture.
I think probably everyone here knows who Danny Orleans is.
That's true. But let's get to tonight's episode. Tonight's episode is chock full of magic. And I say that because this is going to be similar to assemblies that you go to in person. There's going to be some performance videos. Now, during the performance videos, you can write in what you like, if you have any helpful suggestions, because the performers see what's in the chat room. This is to help them critique them, to make them a better magician. And then we have the teach-ins. And there is going to be a lot of teach-ins tonight. We have Jeff Sikora, S.Patrick, Kelvin Chun, Don Miller, Lou Johnson, Dick Bowman, David Bowers, Chris Bontjes, Bob Leedom, Alex the Cardman. And if that wasn't enough, we have the world premiere tonight of Card Force. It just came out by Shawn Farquhar. You're going to see it here first. We'll talk about it later. But it's here for you to watch. And the icing on the cake is Michael Close. We have videos of him, and he's here live to talk about the most astonishing card trick that was ever performed on live TV here in the chat room. And he's going to be here live. So very excited about that. So sit back and relax. You don't have to keep writing down everything about this because in about a week, John's going to have this all on the website with Bruce Calver. So sit back, enjoy, and let's watch some performances of magic. See you in a little bit.
Hi everyone, Jeff Sikora here, President of the Society of American Magicians. Welcome to this meeting of Assembly V1.1. Great meeting tonight. You're going to be seeing a lot of tricks from your fellow magicians. It's kind of a member-driven thing, so it's going to be a lot of fun. In fact, I have something I want to show you guys. Ready for this? Okay. You may want to get a a pen, paper, something to write on, because this is kind of a mentalism type thing. I think you're going to be amazed. I've been doing this for many, many years, and I was taught this by a member of our assembly. I don't know who originated it, but it's really a fun thing to do. And back when I was a single guy, not anymore, but back when I was single, I used this to, let's say, break the ice in some social situations. So let me go into that mode and do this for you. I go up and say, do you know what? I had a dream about you last night. I know you've heard that line before, but really, I had a dream about you last night. And I can prove it. See, a lot of guys say that, but only I can prove it. And what you do is to write a couple things down for me. In this dream, I asked you some questions, and you gave me the answers. Now, I have something. I have a piece of paper right there on the table. I'm not going to touch that. I have what you wrote right down there. And we're going to see if this is true. We're going to see if my dreams come true, okay? In this dream, I asked you, well, I asked you what year you were born in. I know it's not a gentlemanly thing to do, but that's what I did. So could you write down the year that you were born in? Okay, go ahead. Now, I also asked you to name a year in your life that has special significance to you. Could be the year of a marriage, birth of a child, divorce, graduation. It's entirely up to you. So just write down a year in your life that has significance to you. And we aren't doing like 79 or 82. We're doing the whole thing, 1982 or 2014. Just go ahead and write that down. Great. Now, next, write down how many years ago that was. Now, we aren't dealing in months or days. If it was in 2014, this is 2017, that'd be 3 years ago. So just write down how many years ago that was. Okay, great. Okay, now, have you had a birthday yet this year? Okay, you have? Okay, great. Write down your age. Okay, now, if you haven't had a birthday yet this year, write down how old you'll be on your birthday this year, okay? Great, so you have 4 numbers that you've written down there? Okay. Now, add them up. I know that's the hard part, okay, but it's easier these days than back when I started doing this, because back when I started doing this, we didn't have cell phones with like calculators on them. So go ahead and get your cell phone out and add those 4 numbers up right there. And if you're just doing it by hand, you can rewrite them in row order so it's easier for you. Go ahead and do that. Okay, great. Okay. Great, you got that? Okay, wonderful. Okay, now, what number did you come up with? 4,034? 4034? I haven't touched that piece of paper. Like I said, I had a dream. In this dream, I wrote something down. I wrote down 4,034. I know, it's amazing. Let me buy you a drink. Okay, so that's how I used to do it when I was in the single mode. Okay, this is really easy. What you're doing when you really break it down and think about it, you're asking someone to add the current year to itself. Okay, let me explain that. Okay, the first thing I asked was I asked a person to write down the year they were born in. Okay, let's say they write down 1961. Okay, then the third question I ask is, how old are you, or how old are you going to be on your birthday this year? That's important because you have to go for the higher of the number. That would be 56. Okay. If you add 1961 and 56, that comes up to 2017. Okay. The same thing if you say, name or give me a year in your life that has significance to you, okay? That makes it look so random because they are picking the year, okay? Let's say that it was someone who had a child in 2014, okay? Great, terrific. Now, how many years ago was that? Then I say we aren't dealing in months or days, just go by the year. If it was 2010, that'd be 7 years ago. So they go, well, it was 2014, 15, 16, it was 3 years ago, so they write it down. 2014 and 3 comes to 2017, okay, the current year, all right? So add those two together, 2017 comes out to 4034. You are a mind reader. They should build a shrine to you. It's a fun trick, one that I've been doing for a long, long time. I hope you guys have fun with it too.
Welcome back, everyone. It's time for a little magic. The Pocono Mountains Magic Club is joining us, and we have S.Patrick.
Hello, everyone.
And congratulations, because this is your grandson, Isaiah.
Absolutely. This is Isaiah James. He's 9 months and a few days old.
And he's beautiful.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
And is he magical, too?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, the coolest part about this is that the other day I was playing with him with his toys, actually this set of keys right over here, and I found, you want to hold those? Perfect. That we actually have a psychic connection. See, he's eating them already. Let me borrow these back. And I found that he and I can do magic together, which is really, really cool. Now, I have to hold him, so I need your help.
I'll help you in any way I can.
Very cool. We're going to take the keys, and I'm going to take them off of the key ring. There you go, buddy. Like this. The first one is the green key. Thank you. So I'm going to have you take it and place it in the baby envelope.
He likes the green key.
Here, you can hold on to that one. I know, he does like the green key. Very good. Go ahead and close that up.
Close it up. Put it back down.
There you go. Actually, put it in the bowl, if you would. Because
Okay,
we're going to
in the
mix
bowl.
these up here in a little bit.
Okay.
The next one is the red key. Goes in the envelope right over there.
Hi, Isaiah. It's okay.
There you go.
Somehow I have a feeling we'll get them back.
Absolutely. And so the next one is the blue key. So I'll give... Sorry about the slobber.
That's okay. He's 9 months.
Absolutely. And the last one is the yellow key. There you go. You can hold on to the key ring.
There we go.
Perfect.
All 4 keys.
Now, the object is for you to mix those up. Just mix them, mix them, mix them. Now, here's the cool part. See, Isaiah and I have found that we have a psychic connection.
Okay.
We can tell what key is in what envelope. He can tell. And as a matter of fact, you see him chewing on the key ring here. He can actually do it by taste. It's kind of weird. I know this is weird, but I'll show you what I mean. So if you would, first and foremost, before we go any further, just take a random envelope out of there and place it off to the side.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Okay, so we'll leave that one for the last.
Okay.
Now, are you ready to do this?
I am ready.
Okay,
Oh,
very good.
Isaiah,
Are you ready too?
Are you ready, Isaiah?
Perfect.
He is. He's ready to go.
Okay, so Isaiah, we have to take one of the envelopes. So if you would just grab one of those envelopes at random and take it out. Okay, very good.
Is this a good choice?
What do you think? Go ahead. Okay. You'll notice he's going to take the envelope, and the first thing he does is put it into his mouth.
That's because he's 9 months. That's not necessarily magical.
It's a psychic connection.
Okay.
Yes, and he can tell already that this is a green envelope, a green key.
Oh, he did
because
like
he
the
said
green
it
one.
tasted like lime. If you were to open that up and take that out, there's a green key inside of that envelope, too. You are 1 for 1.
Good job,
That is
Isaiah.
awesome.
Would you like the green key?
He does like the green key. There you go. If you would, just go ahead and place that down and take another envelope out of the bowl at random. Okay, you have one there. Very good. He has to taste that one now, so I will take the green key out. Go ahead. Here you go. Go ahead and taste that envelope. Perfect. He's saying already, I can tell that this is the blue key. He said it's the blue key. It tastes like blueberries, so it's the blue key.
Is it blue like your socks? Oh, my goodness.
It's the blue key, ladies and gentlemen. It's an amazing thing.
job.
It's an amazing
Blue
thing.
key
It's
for
the blue
you.
key. And now we have one more envelope inside of the bowl. We'll take that out, and if you would, there you go. Do you want to eat this? Are you sure? No, he doesn't want to eat that one. Oh, there he goes. Okay, good. Yes, very
Eating
good.
it along with the blue key.
Yes, he's already
He's
saying.
so adorable.
He's already saying that this is the red key. He's saying that this is. Wait, are you sure? No, he's saying that this is. No, yep, he's sure. The red key. He's saying that's the red. You almost messed me up there, buddy.
It is
the red key, ladies and gentlemen. The red key.
Good job,
Very
Isaiah.
cool. Now, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. We left
Did you want
one
the red
envelope. He likes the red key better. We left one envelope out. That
He likes all
envelope
of
that
them.
you pulled out of there?
Yes, the very first
Absolutely.
envelope.
Now, obviously, we know that that's the yellow key. If you would, go ahead and open that up and take that out. Obviously, that's the yellow
It's been
key
a long
right
day.
there.
You could have told me it was a different color.
I know, I
believe you.
know. But you see, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Isaiah actually knew, he predicted beforehand that that was going to be the key that you would
Okay.
leave off. Because remember the key ring that we had before?
Yes.
If you would, there's a message written on the key ring right over here. If you could just read out loud that message,
It says the yellow key.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give her a nice round of applause. Give Isaiah a nice round of applause.
Thank you so much.
And we're going to do some more magic here in a little bit. We'll see you, hopefully, really soon. Make sure you call and pledge, guys. Great. Awesome. Thank you, guys. So here is the explanation for the routine that we just did. This is Isaiah James Miller. He's a little older now. He's actually like 2.5 years old. He was actually 9 months old when we did the video. So in order to do this is actually a routine called Par-Optic Vision, which was, for those of you who are also in the IBM, you know, that other group that we don't talk about, the March 2004 Linking Ring magazine. It was in the James Bruno one-man parade column that they have in there, and it's called Par-Optic Vision, and it's a great little routine that you don't necessarily have to do with the props that I'm showing you. You can do it with anything. I'm just showing you what I did to set up this routine based upon the video that you saw a moment ago. So there's a few things that you're going to need for the routine. If you do it the way I do it, the first thing you're going to need is a 9-month-old child. You can pick those up anywhere. The second thing you're going to need is a set of keys or 4 different color somethings. They could be anything, but for this, we used the keys because it fit the presentation of what we were talking about before. You have a yellow one, a green one, a red one, and a blue one. You're also going to need 4 envelopes, just like this. Now these envelopes, and this is the key to the whole thing, is these are marked in a very subtle way. If you can see, they all say baby on them. That's the first one, that's the second one, that's the third one, and then this is the 4th one. They also say baby on them, but the letters are placed on there in a very specific way with little parts extra cut out so that you can see if this one is not filled in, you can tell which key is in which envelope. A is on that one. The A is completed on this one. The B is not completed on this one, and this one is just left totally blank. So it's one of those things that you have basically a secret marking on each of the envelopes. If you set them up in order and place the keys into each envelope in a specific way, even when they mix them up, you can read the envelopes. And then that way you can tell which key is in which envelope by your reading of the envelopes. It's kind of like a pseudo-psychometry kind of routine. Now the last thing you need, okay, is they choose a random key to leave outside of the bowl at the beginning of the routine. So obviously this is a multiple out, all right? So you're using 4 objects, you're going to need 4 outs, okay? Now the first out was on the tablet that you saw during the routine that was sitting on the little stand on the table. They actually flashed the tablet a little bit to show you the picture of Isaiah actually chewing on the green key. That was going to be my green out. If they had chosen the green key at the end of the routine, that's what I would have gone to show you the prediction. Okay. The second one is the yellow key, which happens to be on the key ring that the keys come off of originally. So it's a very unique way of being able to do that. Now, the last 2 are very, very cool. And if you noticed during the routine, Isaiah was wearing a pair of black pants, a black vest, and a onesie underneath the vest. Now, because of the yellow color that was chosen, I know, sweetheart, we have visitors, yes. We didn't get to the onesie part, but I wanted to show you the onesie right over here. This is the onesie that actually he wore underneath the vest. Now, just in case they would have chosen the red or the blue keys, I have outs printed on both sides of this onesie. I got this online. It was like $15, I think, with shipping, and the printing was pretty much anything I wanted to say on it. So this one's here. If they would have chosen the red key, I would have taken off the vest and shown the front of Isaiah's shirt, which would have said, "You will choose the red key." If they would have chosen the blue key, I would have turned Isaiah around, opened up the vest, taken it off to show that it would say, you will choose the blue key. So 4 different outs: blue key, red key, green key on the tablet picture, and the yellow key with the key ring is all you need. You put that all together, and that's the routine. So I hope you enjoyed it. And you can definitely use it for a whole bunch of different things. You don't need to go this route. There's a lot of things you can use based upon your imagination. Did I forget anything? Okay.
Okay. Hi, I'm Don Miller. I'm the Regional Vice President for the Central Plains region. I wanted to show you my favorite trick. This is one that I do for the Indiana Pacers games, and I explain it with a basketball analogy. You know it as a linking ring. Well, around there we call it hoops. Anyway, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 little hoops. Now, you know, you get 2 points for one hoop and 2 points for another hoop, or you could get 3 plus 3. Now, the whole thing is, I do this so many times, well, I think I could almost do it with my eyes closed. Let me try. So we've got 1 plus 1, and I think that would equal 2 or 4 points. Then we could do that again, and that would be quite nice. We could do it. Well, you know, before you have it, you could have up to 12 points. Now, I think that this is something, it's kind of a, well, it's a mess, doesn't it? It kind of reminds me of little Mickey Mouse. Maybe it's not, well, let me straighten it out. It's just 4 in a row. It could be just 2 plus 2. It might be 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. Well, anyway, that's my favorite magic trick.
Hello again, it's Lou Johnson, the Frugal Magician, with this installment for Teaching Magic. This one talks about the secret maneuver along the line of your magic. Where does it happen for you? Where would you like it to happen? Do you want to have it happen before the moment of magic, after the moment of magic, or right at the moment of magic? It's a chance to ask yourself, are you one of 3 different types of personalities? Are you an organizer, a juggler, or a psychologist? To get things done, we'll first start off with the classic 3-rope trick, known as the Professor's Nightmare. 3 different lengths of rope. I'm sure many of you already know this. A short piece, a medium piece, and a long piece are placed into your hand. The ends are then brought up to match each other at the top. The short piece goes up. The medium piece also goes up to go along with it. And finally, the long piece follows suit. Why do we do this? The instructions tell you to do it. And you have to come up with some line of saying, look, they all look the same from up here, even though they look different down here. And during that time, you've done a little bit of a switch. And I'll share that with you in later explanations. Look, when you grab 3 ends each, in each hand, and you give a little stretch, the magic happens where suddenly all 3 pieces suddenly become the same length. That's the way it's been done a long, long time. Let's discuss about how we can actually do this a little bit better using different principles. First, are you an organizer? Daryl the magician loves being organized. He loves it when everything is all situated and all they have to do is just relax and the magic can happen. In this case, the long piece of rope is handed to you or you take it from your table. You then ask for the small piece, the tiny piece, and that is tossed to you. By placing the 2 together, you then ask for the medium piece somewhere out in the audience, or you cross your body to get the medium piece. And when that happens, this happens. The 2 ends are switched. In this case, they're flopped. Here is the short piece. The short piece will be flopped over here. We'll start with the main line, pull down, and the short piece is folded up, creating a link. And that is the secret switch that happens before you even need to do anything else. So as you're going to catch that last piece, that is when the misdirection happens. So this, as your hand goes down to catch the 3rd piece and place it with it, you've already done the secret maneuver to get this ready. This is created by Carol Fox, the late Carol Fox. And now there's no need to bring the ends up. It looks copacetic. Now all you have to do is the magician takes the long piece by the end and the medium piece by the end and that small piece by the ends here. Instantly you can go right in to the stretching, and that's being an organizer, by getting everything done ahead of time before the moment of magic. That's one. Another way is if you want to be a juggler. Jeff McBride does a lot of juggling in his act, whether it's making cards appear and change, a feather changing into a cane, that happens instantaneously. That's being a juggler. I don't know the maneuver, but it's out there. You'll have to take a look where you actually hold all 3 pieces within the hands about this far apart. And then in one fell swoop, all 3 pieces become equal lengths. That's a bit of juggling. But finally, this one is fun. It's not easy. It's being the psychologist. That means that the secret maneuver has to happen after the moment of magic. I'll use these large ropes to explain. It starts off the exact same way that you've all known. Small piece, medium piece, and a long piece. And just like in the instructions, in the classic way, the short piece is brought up to meet up with the other ends. The end of the long piece is pinched together with the end of the short piece, and when the hand goes down to get the medium end here, you just roll the ends to switch the positions. So now your short piece is being held together and the medium piece is held between them, and this end is actually And this end is actually the long end. You then grab the medium end and put it next to what appears to be the short end, which it is not. And then the long end goes right next to that. And this is the standard setup. So when you grab for these three ends, you're actually grabbing all of the long rope, all of the short rope over here, and the middle just goes along for the ride as you stretch them. Looks familiar? Right. But now, let's take it a step further. Something came up with, and I'm going to share it with you for the first time. I've looked it up, haven't seen anyone do it. Short, medium, long. We're going to bring the ends up as we usually do. Short piece goes up and switched as we get the medium end to put next to that, and finally the long end next to all that. And I thought, what can we do to make the illusion real? That it could be three even pieces of rope. The ends just don't cut it. What about the middles? Here's what I did. The long length, the loop, bring it up and shove it into the bottom of your fist and hold it. And look at that. It looks like three even middles to coincide with the 6 even ends on top. Now, doesn't that really look like 3 even pieces of rope? It does, doesn't it? And I used to just grab them and pull. But one time in my room, I tried it slowly, and it looks like this. Look, the illusion is complete. They're all 3 the same size. Every inch. Absolutely. Solid. Through and through. I call that the optical stretch. And what did I do? The same thing that's always been done. Just did it slower. I'll use these pieces. 2, 3. Look. Small. Medium. Long. Just start it the same usual way. Short piece goes up. The 2 ends got switched as you go for this end, and finally the long end. Take your index finger of the hand that's holding the ropes and bring it down between the 2 groups of ends to really get a good purchase so that nothing of the secret loop is going to be sticking out. The long length gets put right up just at the bottom of your fist. Every hand is going to be different. Place it however you need to make sure that all 3 loops suddenly look the same. And now, when you make the moment of magic happen, I make sure to do this first. And then, grabbing the usual ends, don't let go and stretch, but pull it through your hand. Focus on the ropes going through here. Do not watch them here. You can during rehearsal, but it's much more believable if you just make it off the cuff. Pull, pull, and as you pull through, the loops do actually ride up all together at the same time. Looking here, not there. That's an optical stretch. Gives you something to think about. Thanks, everybody. Enjoy teaching.
Hi, Nadine.
I do.
Have you ever seen a whole fly?
No.
Now, when I say that, what's that conjure up? Is that like a thing that buzzes around the house with all of its wings?
Absolutely.
Oh, So what about a hole in something that can fly? Probably thinking a little outside the box that way.
Absolutely.
Well, that's what we're going to try to do here. I got a couple pieces of paper here. Let me try something. I'm going to take 2 sheets. I'm going to fold one in half like so and fold it in half again. Now, if you would make a fist for me, that would be great. I'm going to slide that in your fist. Keep that so everyone can see it, but don't let me touch it again, okay? Okay, I'm going to fold this exactly the same way, across the middle and across the length. Now, as you can see, we've folded into quadrants. How many squares are folded in the paper?
4.
Look again.
5.
Look again. Actually, it's 0.
There's no square rectangles.
Okay. Just a trick question. Actually, there's 9 rectangles. You know, if you look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then the whole thing is 9. But we're going to concentrate on these 4 rectangles, okay? I'm going to fold it in half again. Take a little punch here and punch through. So we have 4 holes, 4 rectangles. And I'm going to take one of the holes. Let's see. Let's take this one. Can you see that, Nadine?
No.
Oh, sorry, sideways. Is that better? Just kidding. Watch, here we go, up in the air. A triple somersault. 1, 2, 3, into your hand. Did you feel anything?
No.
Get out. Didn't? Did you
No.
see anything?
No.
Oh, you weren't watching the hole fly? Rats. If you would, slide it out. Let's see if it made it over there. Unfold the paper.
No
And
way.
make it over there. It did.
Wow.
Did it make it to the right rectangle?
Let's see.
It did.
Wow.
So
That's
keep
amazing.
those for someday. They'll be worth absolutely nothing. But you can say, I saw a hole fly. Thanks for helping.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Explanation. Hi, this is originally called Hole Flight from Harvey Rosenthal from back in the 80s. Harvey was a friend of mine, and he had a very not convoluted, just a very complex routine for this trick. And with some suggestions from Al Cohen, I simplified it and made it into the routine that you see today. You need 2 pieces of paper. I use a little tablet that I print up my logo on, so when I hand it to the people, they get to have my name, phone number, and website. So it's kind of a keepsake. 2 pieces of paper, and you fold them off. The one key is that one of them already has a hole in it, and you position your pad so that every other one has a hole in it, and the one on the bottom is the one with the hole in it. So when you take these off, you hold them very casually like this, you slide this off, and now it covers the hole. You immediately fold this in half towards you and fold it in half over this way. So now the hole is over here. Or you can fold it, which I prefer, this way and then this way. So now the hole is in the center. If you're a stickler for it, because you're going to fold this one the opposite way. You're going to fold this one this way and then over. So best way for this one is to fold it under so that it hides the hole, and if they look at both sides, they can't see the hole. This one, it's important for this quadrant to be on the bottom, so you fold over and fold over. So now you have 4 rectangles folded in the paper. Now the key is, I joke about the rectangles and make it so everybody's laughing, so that when I fold the paper like this, I insert my first finger here and over, and then pinch it here, so you can't see in this way, and it's pretty well hidden that way. Now you take the punch and you're going to punch only the 3 top sheets. The bottom sheet, it goes under that. And what you want to try to do is aim for a spot where you're at the end of the clip and up, and approximate where you had put the hole over here, so that they appear to be the same in from the bottom and up from the side. You'll see in a moment. So now you have that. Now you're just gonna unfold it the same way, and I hold the top hole and this the same. Obviously there's no hole here, there's a hole here. So I just kind of rub them, I hold them up and show that one and say, let's take this one. Now obviously it's just play acting at this point. I slide it off like so. I turn, I make a joke about it sideways, go this way, whatever. You can do whatever you like there. And say 3 somersaults into the hand. And the key thing is that they've been holding this page the whole time. They open it, reveal the hole there, you match them up, it made it to the right rectangle, and as if you notice, the holes are approximately exactly or pretty close to being consistent from one to the other. And so then you present that to them and say that worth absolutely nothing, and of course they made a hole fly. So that's whole flight. Thanks.
Ready?
He will.
Hi, my name's David Bowers, and I'm a past national president of the Society of American Magicians. And I have my lovely assistant here today to help me with my next trick. Jen, I'd like you to stick your 2 fingers out like that. Now we're going to hang this chain right there on that. But before we do that, Jen, we're going to take this disc and we're going to put through the front. Now I want you to put your 2 fingers together, Jen. Now spread your fingers apart just a teeny tiny bit, Jen. Whoops. And hold on to the ring, Jen. Hold on to the ring. Just right there, nail to nail. Well, Jan, does that feel like it's pretty secure?
Yep.
Well, we're going to take the scarf, then we're going to reach up, and we're going to pull, and the chain comes right off. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? As you can see, her fingers never left her hands. Thank you very, very much. 2 fingers up again, Jan. Put them over your fingers.
Oh, right.
And we're going to take this. And really, there's... Jan?
I know. Can't even do the simple things.
Okay, like that. Now we're going to bring this up like this. And there's really not a lot of explanation to it. Just everybody watch very, very carefully, and you can see what happens. It's just the way that it's draped there. You just pull on it, and it just comes right off like that.
I'm not seeing it.
Hi, I'm Christopher Bontjes, past national president of the Society of American Magicians, with a trick to share with you. It uses 2 cards, 2 black 9s. They're very magical cards, actually, but only if you hold them in the correct orientation. Right now, they're front to back. In other words, when the back of this card touches the front of that card, nothing happens. If I turn them back to back, like this, still nothing. It's only when I turn both cards over so that they're face to face that the magic happens. Two cards start in a fan in the left hand. The coin starts in finger palm in the right hand. I want that coin out as close to the end of my fingers as possible. As I show these cards front and back, I bring the right hand up and cover the coin with that card as I take it away. As I turn the cards over to show the backs, I'm going to push that card out like this so that I can see more of the back. That looks like I'm hiding something. That looks very fair. The coin is exposed, but only from the bottom. So as I turn the card over, the big motion covers the small motion of moving the card out. As I turn it back, I pull it back in. I then turn one card over. I slide it underneath the coin for back to back, and I quickly flash both sides. At that point, I take my left hand and I grab the coin underneath. I switch hands to take one card off, turn it over. I switch hands again to take the other card off. This time, I put the bottom card underneath the coin. Now I can show it very fairly on both sides. The coin's not going to move until I release pressure. When I want to produce the coin, I just release pressure between my thumb and finger, and it slides right out.
Hi, I'm Bob Leedom of Assembly 141, the Columbia Conjurers, and I'd like to teach you how to snap a knot into a rope. Now this isn't done with any standard rope magic trickery, but instead is a skillful knot tie that you can do only if you know the simple secret move. Here's what it looks like. To do it yourself, start with a rope between 3 and 4 feet long. Hold one end and let the rope hang down until it's still. Then visually pick out an aiming point between 1/4 and 1/3 of the way up from the bottom of the rope. Now, quickly but smoothly, lift the rope straight up and then, with a sideways circular motion, strike the aiming point with your index finger. That extension of your index finger is the secret move that causes the end of the rope to flip back and make the knot. Here it is once more. And here it is in slow motion. I start one of my routines by telling the audience that magicians have to train their ropes to do tricks, and I've brought one of my ropes in training to see how well it's doing. If I happen to miss forming the knot, I admonish the rope itself for not having learned its lesson. Well, have fun with this. I'd like to thank Bill Steinecker of Baltimore for teaching me this technique many years ago. I'm Bob Leedom.
Happy New Year to all of my friends at Assembly V1.1. I am Alex, the Cardman. I've been thinking a lot about the new year and what that means to me. And I've set some very ambitious goals this year. But I've also realized that many of you may have a New Year's resolution, and some of you don't even believe in that. But that's besides the point. We all have goals, and I want you to consider this as you set your goals in 2017. Life is like a card game. You never know which hand you'll be dealt. You've got to take risks. You've got to take a chance. And sometimes you won't know the outcome of the choice that you make. And so here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hands with 5 cards in each hand. I have a dice that I'm going to use to choose one of the hands. And so I'll roll the die, and it's a 6. Well, that's impossible, because there is no 6th hand. I'll roll again. A 3. I'll take the 3rd hand. Let's see what we would have had. We want to win. Wow. We almost had a flush. We were so close. We almost had a straight. Even closer. But you know, this hand, it wouldn't win as it stands right now in a game of cards. And so in life, sometimes we're not dealt a winning hand, and we try to control everything in our lives. But what if we tried to focus on one thing, a goal? We have to live a balanced life, and so to live a balanced life, we have to focus on the center of our hand. In this case, the 10 of spades. Remember the 10 of spades, because our goal is to control the 10 of spades to the center of the next hand that we deal. And so I'll mix the cards up like this, and I'll place them onto the deck. And we're going to try another round of poker. But of course we have to think ahead if we're truly going to succeed with our goal. And so we have the die, and we have to take a chance. The 10 of spades can be dealt in the first hand, the second, the third, the fourth, or the fifth. Take a chance, and let's see which hand it will be. The 4 is rolled. It will be the fourth hand. The 10 of spades. Watch very carefully. We take the cards and mix them around, and we deal them out one at a time. Here comes the fourth hand. It will start there. We deal the cards out, and we're trying to get the 10 of spades to the center of the fourth hand. Life is like a game. You have to take a chance. And so, even though we can't always predict the outcome, here is our fourth hand. And with a little bit of focus, the center card of the fourth hand will be the 10 of spades. Now, I know for some of you, this might not be enough, because this is just one goal that we had all year. What about the rest? Well, instead of trying to control everything, we should focus on one, and then everything else will fall into place. And so I have the Jack of Spades, the Queen of Spades, the Ace of Spades, and the King of Spades. And this is a winning hand. This effect is actually very easy to learn. You start by having a royal flush in spades on top of the deck. Now you need to get 10 cards, any cards, on top of that stack, making the beginning of the stack the 11th card from the top. Again, this stack can be in any order. It doesn't really matter. So the stack starts on top, and you get 10 cards on top of it to begin. In my performance, I did this using the overhand shuffle, where I would run 5 cards in jog, and then run another 5 cards in the second shuffle, in jogging again, controlling them to the top. At this point, I will demonstrate this with the cards with the stack face up. This way it will be easier for you to follow. So you have your stack, 10 cards on top. You begin dealing the cards, and you can use any presentation that you like. What you're actually doing is dealing the first 10 cards, and then the center card of each hand becomes part of the royal flush. So this is your setup from the beginning. And you're dealing 5 cards, 5 hands each. At this point you can have your spectator select one of the hands. I used a die to determine that. They choose one of the hands, and you of course show them the hand. And you'll have different results Sometimes you'll have a pair. You'll almost rarely have a very strong hand. But if you do, just point out the fact that you have a strong or a weak hand and begin your presentation that you're going to control the ace of spades. You're going to keep it in the center. So the ace stays in the center. Again, I'm leaving it face up to demonstrate. Now this is the important part. You say you're going to control the ace to stay in the center in the next hand for the next round. You have to make sure that that ace stays in the center as you put these together. So make sure that it doesn't seem too calculated, but make sure that the ace is actually in the center of the entire stack of hands that you just dealt. So just make sure 2 go on the bottom and 2 go on top from the 5. You place that on top, and you can do any false shuffle you like. I use the in-jog shuffle in my performance. All you're doing is maintaining top stock, the first 25 cards. From there, you're actually positioned so that if you were to just deal the card straight, the royal flush would be dealt in the 3rd hand, which is the center hand. If you want, you can have your spectator choose a hand that they would like it to be dealt, the 1st, the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, or the 5th. And depending on what that number is, you will add or subtract cards from the top of the deck. So for example, since I'm set for the 3rd hand, if they said the 2nd hand, then I know I would have to take 1 card away from the top, leaving me dealing the royal flush in the 2nd hand. If they said the 5th hand, then I know, since I'm set for the 3rd hand, that I would have to add 2 cards to the top of the deck. And you can do this using a double undercut or an overhand shuffle, whatever you prefer. So I'll deal them here to the 5th hand. You can see, since the cards are face up, that they really do go there. And your spectator has complete freedom of this. Notice that the ace of spades becomes the center card for that hand, just as we wanted, and we said we would. Of course, here you're already finished. You reveal only the ace in the center. You let the effect take place, let your spectators react, and for the finale, reveal that you have a royal flush in spades. This effect is credited to J.K. Schmidt, I believe is the magician, and Martin Gardner for some of the mathematical principles used in the dealing that makes this work. I hope you guys enjoy. There's a lot of freedom here for creative presentations, and if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the chat. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Again, we're going to have this all for you to watch. There's a lot of magic. Like I said, it's a magic extravaganza. It's going to be all available by the end of the week. And now we have the world premiere of Shawn Farquhar's new card force called Sloppy Seconds. And right after that is going to be Michael Close. So Michael, you'll be on. So John, let's get Shawn Farquhar up here.
Hey, Shawn Farquhar here for V1.1. I've got a cool trick to teach you. It's kind of a prediction thing that uses a deck of cards. What a surprise. My buddy Ron's going to help me. I got a deck of cards. In a moment, I'm going to start placing cards down. My prediction is here, right here. This isn't it. My prediction's there, though. I'm going to start placing cards down like this. And you're going to say stop whenever you want to. As I begin placing the cards down, you say stop when you want to.
Stop.
Right here?
Yeah.
So whatever this card is the card, because you stopped me there.
Right.
Take a look at the card. Show the camera so everybody gets to see it. You had a choice of all these cards, but that's the one you stopped on. For the first time around, what is the card?
The 10 of hearts.
10 of hearts? I told you my prediction was here.
Yes.
It's not inside the box. It's not inside the box. It's on the back of the box. If you look in the back of the box, there's one playing card on display. What is it?
10 of hearts.
Look at that. It's the 10 of hearts. It's on the box.
Whoa.
Want to know how I did it? I
Yes.
cheated.
Oh.
Okay, so this is a new force idea. I call it Shawn's Sloppy Second. Here's what it looks like. The 10 of hearts appears on the back of all the bicycle cards. So that's your prediction. If you don't have it, you can always slide a card inside. And then all I'm doing is I'm putting the 10 of hearts in this position, in the middle of the deck. And I'm making a big pinky break and putting some cards on top. Not a lot, maybe 18 cards. And I'm kind of using a Danny Dorotese move to start with, but I can't hit his mark all the time, so I have my own way of doing it. I do the first group, I turn them over while I talk. I turn the second group, I turn them over as I talk, and then I stop talking as I turn the third little group getting to this card, and I turn them over. If he says stop, that's great. If he doesn't, watch what I do next. I push these cards over, and I pull this one back, and I put these down. And so I just do this kind of an action. So I'll do it for you once so you get the idea. I'm here, I start putting them down, and you're gonna say stop when you want to.
Stop.
Now you stopped right on it.
Right
now
on.
let's try it again, and now be a little bit slow so that I can show the difference on it. I'll just put it a little bit higher, so it's a little bit easier. So I'm putting them down, and you're gonna say stop when you want to.
Stop.
Now it's still here.
Oh, it's
yeah, because what I did was I pushed these cards over, pushed back, and pulled this one off. Push these cards over, pull back, and push these ones off. And so I'm literally doing a sloppy second deal. I'm moving this card from the top of the pile, wherever the pile is, let's say it's about here, this is the card, I'm pushing over and doing this. And all the attention will be drawn to the table because they think this is what the action is. So I'm here, holding the cards. This card is about 18 cards in. I begin with the first group, second group, third group. If they haven't said stop by then, I push over, push back, push over, push back, and just continue to do this until they say stop. When they say stop, I display the card, they see it, and then I freak them out by showing them this. That's Shawn's sloppy second. It's the only name I can think of, but it's pretty cool. Have fun.
Am I on the air? Wonderful. Hi, Michael Close here. How y'all doing? I have a couple of little clips of things that I did on television, and these are things that I did specifically for a guy named Dick Wolfsey in Indianapolis. Dick Wolfsey I've known for more than 30 years. I went to college at Butler University in music school there in Indianapolis. So from about 1972 until I moved to Las Vegas in 1998 in February, I lived and worked in the Indianapolis area. And way back in, I guess maybe 97, just before I left to move to Vegas, Dick Wolfsey gave me a call. Now, Dick was a very popular television personality in Indianapolis, and he had his own morning talk show, and guests would come on. And as a matter of fact, I wrote the theme music for that particular television show. And then, as happens, his popularity waned, and he went from having his own 2-hour morning talk show to being a guy that they would send out at 5 o'clock in the morning, and he'd do an interview with some farmer out in Bedford, Indiana, and he'd talk about milking cows, and that was Dick's job for a number of years. And then eventually, currently, he only has a little spot that he does on Saturday mornings on Channel 8, the CBS affiliate. At least back then it was the CBS affiliate in Indianapolis. So in 1997, Dick gave me a call and said, we haven't talked or done anything for a while. Why don't you come on my TV show? And I said, okay. So what you're going to see in this first little clip, which is from 1997, is a card trick that I did for Dick Wolfsey, and I think we should play it once, and then we can talk about it a little bit. You may want to see it twice to try to figure out how it all worked. There's no stooges, there was no pre-show work, no nothing. So go ahead and run that clip with Dick Wolfsey from 1997.
Dick Wolfsey is playing with magic this morning, and he says he's got something that's going to really fool us. Huh,
Yeah, that's right. We're going to actually do the trick with you, if that's okay, Dave. And by the way, I want to thank the Courtyard by Marriott for allowing us to be here this morning. We appreciate that. We'll probably come back here again someday and use their beautiful lobby. And Mike Close, the best magician I've ever seen in my entire life, my long career of dealing with magicians. You're going to do something with Dave, right?
Yeah, and I'll make it real easy. I'll just ask Dave to name any card he'd like.
Any card at all?
Other than jokers, because I'm working with one. I didn't put one in the deck.
Oh, my goodness. All right, how about the 6 of clubs?
You want to change your mind, or are you happy about that?
No, I love that card.
The interesting thing about the 6 of clubs is because this is Channel 8, Watch this. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, before I turn over the 8th card, we did not set this up ahead of time.
No, we
correct?
did not.
We did not talk about this.
No, we did not.
But that's the 6 of clubs.
That's unbelievable. That is amazing, because I almost said the 8 of diamonds and then switched it at the last second.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I almost said the 8 of diamonds.
It's a good thing you didn't, because then it would have turned into the 8 of diamonds.
No way. No way.
You know something? I just...
Dick,
I
now,
know.
the problem is people at home are going, well, they set this all up.
We did not.
But we didn't.
We did not. I swear we did not.
So there it is. It's pretty obvious. Anybody got any questions? It's pretty much self-working, I guess. Do you need to see it again? Or what do you think? You want to watch it one more time and then I'll tell you what's going on? Well, I see enough question marks. Okay, play it one more time for me. Yeah, what a great move. That's hilarious. Only one move, but it's a tough one.
Dick Wolfsey is playing with magic this morning, and he says he's got something that's going to really fool us. Huh,
Yeah,
Dick?
that's right. We're going to actually do the trick with you, if that's okay, Dave. And
Yeah.
by the way, I want to thank the Courtyard by Marriott for allowing us to be here this morning. We appreciate that. We'll probably come back here again someday and use their beautiful lobby. And the best magician I've ever seen in my entire life, my long career of dealing with magicians. You're going to do something with Dave, right?
Yeah, and I'll make it real easy. I'll just ask Dave to name any card he'd like.
Any card at all?
Other than jokers, because I'm working with one. I didn't put one in the deck.
Oh, my goodness. All right, how about the 6 of clubs?
You want to change your mind, or are you happy about that?
No, I love that card.
The interesting thing about the 6 of clubs is because this is channel 8, watch this. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, before I turn over the 8th card, we did not set this up ahead of time.
No,
correct?
we did not.
We did not talk about this.
No, we did not.
But that's the 6 of clubs.
That's unbelievable. That is amazing, because I almost said the 8 of diamonds and then switched it at the last second.
Well, I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I almost said the 8 of diamonds.
It's a good thing you didn't, because then it would have turned into the 8 of diamonds.
No way. No way.
You know something? I just...
Dick,
I
now,
know.
the problem is people at home are going, well, they set this all up.
We did not.
But we didn't.
We did not. I swear we did not.
So you need to have a little background on this, because I'd known Dick Wolfsey for a long time. When he called me and said, be on my show, and we picked the date, which was about 2 weeks in the future, I spent that 2 weeks and I got every bit of background information on him that I possibly could. I talked to his wife, I talked to his staff, I talked to everybody who knew him. I found out his dog's name when he was a kid. I found out the birth dates of his wife and all his children. Everything that I could possibly find out about Dick Wolfsey. Then what I did was, because I did 5 different spots with him that morning for the morning news cutaway thing, and I designed tricks, 4 tricks that incorporated all this pre-show information that I gathered. Now, none of the pre-show information that I gathered specifically was the climax of a trick, but it was a kicker that I would add on to the end of the trick. The trick would end, and then I'd have this unbelievable kicker. So I worked that all out. And then when we shot the thing, absolutely none of the stuff I had planned worked out. When I asked for a birthday, instead of his wife or his kids, he gave me his brother's birthday. When I asked him for the name of a pet, he named some other pet. So I was still able to bring the tricks to a conclusion, but I was never able to do that extra, blow his socks off kicker at the end. And I was really disappointed. So we got to the last segment, and I'd sort of done the tricks I was going to do, and Dick basically said just before we were brought back on live, he said, will you do a trick for the guys back in the studio? I said, sure. So at that time, and I still am, pretty good with a memorized deck. And so somebody had typed the trick that can't be explained or the trick that can be explained, and that's exactly what that trick is. The trick that can't be explained is basically spectator names a card and you figure out how to find it in a way that doesn't make it look like you're struggling to find the card. Well, the nice thing about the using a memorized deck when you do the trick that can't be explained is that you can actually practice every single out that you need. You can practice what you will do for every single card in the deck. So I had no idea what I was going to do because I didn't know what card he was going to name. And as it happened, the 6 of clubs is the 8th card in the Aronson stack. So there it was. However, if you go back, if you were to watch this again, you'll notice that I did what is sort of an unwritten rule when you do memdeck, which is when you get unbelievably lucky, you have to be willing to give it all away and ask the spectator if he wants to change his mind. And I did that. He gave me a miracle, handed it to me on a plate, and I said to him, "Do you want to change your mind?" And he said no. And by asking that, it makes the ending much, much stronger, but you do take the risk that you're going to throw a miracle away. So I count down to the 8th card. It's the 6 of clubs. And then he blurts out, "Well, I almost said the 8 of diamonds, which is the 9th card in the Aronson stack." So all I had to do was top change the 6 for the 8, and I wish I had, more accurately checked my angles against where the camera was and, brought that top change up a little higher instead of, but I was still sort of reeling from the fact that I had this double miracle handed to me. So I'm sort of grateful that I remembered how to do a top change at that point, because it was quite a moment for me. And I've never had anything like that occur again, although I've had lots and lots of very, very fortunate things happen when I do memdeck work. The hardest thing to do is just not to laugh out loud when it happens to you, and to make people think that this is exactly the way that the trick was going to go, and so that takes some acting skills. When we had the convention in Indianapolis this past summer, I contacted Dick Wolfsey and said, "I'm going to be in town. Would you like to shoot another few segments?" And he said, "Sure." Now, this was a completely different problem because he said, "We only have 3 minutes. Each spot is 3 minutes long." Now, if you know my work at all, you know that I'm not a guy who does quick tricks. I like to weave a story. I like to bring people in, and I really like to make it a deep mystery. So the problem was, what tricks would I do for Dick Wolfsey that I could get done in less than 3 minutes that would still be good tricks? And John, do you have the one with the poker demonstration? It would be maybe the second clip that's on there. It's the 10 card poker deal. Does that make sense? Were you able to get those off the internet? Oh, John says he has the whole thing combined. Well, you guys, if you want to watch the whole thing, you could. They're very brief. They're only 3 minutes long, and then I can tell you why I chose the tricks I chose. Do you want to do this, or are we running out of time? The chief says, go ahead. So here I am with Dick Wolfsey 20 years later in Indianapolis.
I, this morning, am very lucky. My old friend Mike Close, I've only known you 30 years, one of the top magicians in the country. Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good to see you again, Dick. It's a real pleasure.
You are here because this weekend in Indianapolis is?
This is the annual convention of the Society of American Magicians.
Okay.
And the Society of American Magicians has been around for a very long time. Houdini was one of the presidents of the organization. Houdini actually had my job. He was the editor of the newsletter at that time, and now it's a magazine that comes out every month.
And you took his job.
I took Houdini's job.
That's incredible.
He has never forgiven me.
People call you the magician's magician. What does that mean? Because that's a pretty cool thing to be called.
Well, One of the things I've always enjoyed doing is coming up with tricks, coming up with routines that would fool other magicians.
Yeah.
Because one of the things you lose when you spend time studying magic is you lose that thrill that you get when something fools you. Because you know how it works.
Right.
So I always say to magicians, it's like a dentist having to sit in that chair every now and then
Yeah.
so they remember how that feels.
Yeah.
It's good for magicians to get fooled. So it isn't the only thing that I'm interested in, but I do like coming up with material that will fool
people
magicians.
always ask me, because I write humor, how do you come up with a joke? Where does that come from? And I'm not really good at answering that, but you don't sit down in the chair and say, okay, I'm going to come up with a joke. It just kind of simmers in your head, right?
Well, the creative mind plays with the things it loves.
Yes.
So if you're a funny person, you're thinking about jokes all the time.
Right.
With magic, there's a very large body of printed material, of tricks, and you study those, and you think about things, and you're inspired, and sometimes you find a wrinkle that somebody else hasn't thought of, and that's very satisfying. I still do that. I'm still coming up with stuff.
Real quickly.
Sure.
You can go on YouTube now and see how tricks are done. Do you hate that?
I wish it weren't there. I wish it weren't there. The problem with YouTube is there is information there.
Right.
But you have to sift through so much garbage to find it. I think the secrets are still pretty safe. But it is unfortunate. You can sort of combat it by just not mentioning the name of the trick you're doing.
Right.
I'm now going to do the ball and vase. And they go on YouTube and go, yeah, but just don't call it that.
I have to say, Mike is a consultant on the great Penn and Teller's great show. Is it called
Fool Us?
Fool Us.
Fool Us.
This has been very interesting. But people at home, you know what they're saying.
Why is that guy doing tricks?
Why isn't he doing tricks? And the truth is, you're so old, you've forgotten them all.
That's exactly right.
We're in the next 3 segments with one of the great magicians in the country, Mike Close. We're going to do some great magic.
That'll be great fun.
We will be back.
Thanks.
I'm proud to say my friend Mike Close, one of the great magicians, internationally known, writer of books about magic, the magician's magician, and we're airing this Saturday morning, Mike, and by now tickets may be sold out.
Yes, they have an evening show,
Yeah.
but if you'd like to try to get in, go to MagicSam, MAGICSAM.com, and see if tickets for tonight's show are still available.
Here at the Marriott.
At the Marriott.
Magician's Convention.
So I'd like to show you something. I lived in Vegas for 12 years after I left Indianapolis, and I learned a lot about poker and cheating at cards. People say to me, well, Mike, you're so good, I wouldn't play poker with you because you cheat.
Yes, I would say that.
So I'm trying to alleviate that possibility by using these gigantic cards. They are so large, in fact, that even shuffling them, I can't really do adroitly. So I apologize for that. I can't bottom deal. I can't second deal. I can barely cut.
Right.
But that's about it. I'm not that good. But you and I are going to play head-to-head poker.
Okay.
And you get to make all the decisions.
Okay.
So here's the first one.
Can I look at it or no?
Nope. Here's the decision.
Yeah.
Which one would you like for your hand? Change your mind?
No.
Okay. That's yours. That's mine. You don't have to look at it yet.
Okay.
Let's get some cards for you. Which one of those would you like? You sure?
I'm positive.
Slide it. That's yours.
Okay.
Which one of these would you like? Sure?
Yeah, I'm
Take
positive.
it. That's yours. I need to catch up a little bit, so which of these should be mine?
Take that one.
Perfect. And I guess I need another one, so which one of these, Dick?
For who, you or me?
For me.
That one.
Nuts. Okay. Psychological isn't working. Which one for you?
I'll take that.
Take it. Take it. And I need one more.
Okay, take that one.
All right. Now, we're left with 2. Nobody in his right mind would do what I'm about to do now.
Which is?
Look at your cards.
Well, okay.
Don't show me, but look at them.
Okay.
Do you see what you have?
I do.
Take whichever one helps you the most.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yes.
What do you have?
I don't know. This doesn't seem like much of a trick so far. I have a full house. I mean, it's a good hand.
Well, that's a very good hand.
Yes.
Now, you made all the decisions. Every time we put down cards, you decided where they should
go. My wife tells me that all the time, too, and it's not true, but okay.
Oh, jeez. I don't even have a pair. I have this one.
Well, get a pair,
and
Mike.
This one. And I have this one. And I have this one. And I have this one. I wouldn't play cards with you, Dick. You're terrible. You're really terrible.
You know, I don't know much about poker, but that looks like a royal flush.
Yeah, it does look like a royal flush.
Okay, and now we'll take a break. We'll see you in a little while, and Mike is not going to explain to me how we did that.
This is more fun when we play for money.
We should have played for money.
I think we should have.
And I'll make all the decisions. We'll see in a little bit. So the Marriott on Maryland, the Society of
American Magicians National Convention.
I rehearsed that 4 times and got it wrong.
National
Mike
Convention.
Close, my old buddy, internationally known magician, is here. And we want to say that this is Saturday morning.
Yes.
We take this a little earlier. Tickets may or may not be available.
Yes, if
can
you
check
go
where.
to Magic Sam, MAGICSAM, www.magicsam.com, you can find out if tickets for this evening's show are available.
May or may not be. You're going to show me another trick.
Yeah, well, it's not so much a trick. It's
It better be a trick.
It's a
Yeah.
science experiment.
Oh, well, that's different.
And there's a lot of interest now with CERN and the particle accelerator in
Yes.
Switzerland, the discovery of the Higgs boson. Everybody says, why can't I do particle
I say that all the time.
particle physics experiments at home?
I wake up every morning.
Now you can with the Michael Close Home Particle Physics Experiment Kit.
Okay.
You're saying, what do I get for my $17,000? I'll show you, Dick.
Yeah.
What you get are these 2 little experimental chambers, which I'll set here, and this is what they stay in. And you also, now this, it's not there, hang on. No. What did this is the cheap stuff. Oh, there it is. Okay, what I have here are 2 entangled photons, which I can separate and place in these chambers. Now, here's what's interesting. If you know anything about this stuff, there's something called spooky interaction at a distance. And when the protons have been entangled, even though they're separated, the action of one causes the other one to move.
Okay.
So when I push on this one moves this way and shoves the drawer out.
Yeah.
Now, you're shrewd. You're thinking that's a vacuum or air pressure or something like that, but it's not, because I can put these so they're stepped like this, and see if I push, and that one goes up, and
Wow.
that one goes up. Yeah, it's really weird. You can even, set them at right angles like this, and that one goes out, and that one goes out, and that one goes out. Now, what's neat about this is that normally this kind of entangled stuff happens on the other side of the universe, but you can't really see it when I do that. Hey, push one of those down. Just push one of them down.
Push one of them
down?
down?
Yeah, push one of them down. Okay, that one? That's fine. Now watch. See, and now it works again. Like that. It's really crazy. As a matter of fact, you can put them in parallel dimensions by turning this one around, and it still works. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Now, when you get bored, which happens faster than you'd think, you can actually just take these, put them back in the handy carrying case, dump out the photons, squeeze them back up. Can you push one back in for me?
Just one?
Yeah. Push the other one back in. See, the photons are back in here. And you take it home, 17 grand. Take it home with you right now, my friend.
The great Mike Close. We have a couple more segments left to do some great magic. We'll be back.
See you later.
Good morning. We're at the Marriott Hotel on Maryland. The Society of American Magicians is having their annual conference here. My old friend Mike Close, who used to live here in Indianapolis, and then like any good magician, he disappeared, and now living in Canada. Good morning again.
Thanks, Dick. It's great to be here.
There is an event tonight. You can check the website.
Is Magic Sam, MAGICSAM, magicsam.com. Find out if tickets are available.
They may
or not be.
They may not be at this
if you can
point.
come down, please do. It'll be a great show.
Oh, drive me crazy again.
I will. I have a buddy who lives in Texas, a guy named Norman Beck. He and I share the same hobby. He mailed me a couple of playing cards, and I'll explain why these are important.
He mailed those to you.
Yes, he did.
What a good friend.
He is a good friend.
Yeah.
We have the same hobby. Ever since I was a kid, I played poker. And whenever I was in a card game and won a lot of money, I always snuck a playing card out of the deck. And Norman does the same thing, and he sends them to me. So these are some that he won in games recently. Now, I want to show you these cards, Dick, because I've got them from almost 52 different games, and some of them were at casinos, some of them
That's an interesting deck.
Yeah, it is. Some of them I won Elvis, I beat Elvis, and there's all kinds. But because this is a very lucky deck, it may be possible to do something very lucky with the cards. So you're going to be in charge of this, and your job is simple. Just take the cards, like you were going to deal them, because you will. Deal a card to the table.
Face down.
Face down, please. And deal another, and deal and deal and
Right
deal
on
and deal.
top?
Yep, as many as you want into a pile, that's fine. And deal and deal and deal and deal and deal until you feel like stopping, just realizing we're going to do this twice. Okay, right there. We'll take a card and put it in. I'll take those from you and square them up. Excellent. And if you would, take them again and deal and deal and deal and deal. And deal and deal and deal and deal and deal. Quickly, quickly, quickly.
Yeah,
Deal and deal and deal and deal and deal.
minutes. Okay.
That's it?
Yep, that's it.
All right, and that one goes in there. Now, here's what's interesting. This is another situation where you did all the work.
I did. I always do.
You did all the work.
Yeah.
I mixed these a little bit.
I didn't look at the cards,
we didn't look at the cards, no. But look, I'm interested in the card that you put into the deck and the one that's just above it.
Right.
And the
These
other
are the two I put in the deck.
Yeah, that's right. You put in the King of Diamonds and the Six of Hearts, and I'm just interested in the ones that are next to it. Here's what's interesting. This card, that next to the Six of Hearts, you managed to put next to a matching card, the Six of Diamonds.
Okay.
And the King that you put in happens to, you put it in next to a red king, which is kind of fun. But here's another thing that's interesting. This card is from the Jerry's Nugget Casino, and this card is from the Jerry's Nugget Casino, and this is from the Mint in Las Vegas, and this is from the Mint in Las Vegas. But that isn't the thing that I find unusual. Here's what I find unusual.
I find that unusual.
Well, no, it doesn't really hit me that much, because these are red sixes and red kings. But what's interesting is I only collect threes. The three of clubs. So I'm not exactly sure
I'm not.
how that whole thing worked, but it's very lucky for you, Dick. Very, very lucky.
Okay.
That's all I got to say about that.
I both hate this and love this. But that's the magic of magic, isn't it?
It is.
Can we do one more segment, sir?
Sure.
One more segment with the great Mike Close. We'll be back. If you have just joined us, we are at the Marriott on West Maryland, and with me is my old buddy Mike Close, who for 30 years has never told me how to do a trick.
And I don't see starting now. I don't think it's gonna.
But he has always amazed me. He is truly one of the great magicians in the world, and a magician's magician. And let's end up with something which will also annoy me.
Well, this has a Hoosier connection, because before I moved to Vegas in '98, I had the opportunity to perform for former Vice President Dan Quayle.
Okay.
And I mean, I know he gets a bad rap about a lot of stuff, but once you meet the guy, you understand why he was successful as a politician. He's charming. Right. He's, okay, maybe.
Whatever.
Anyway, this is what I showed him, Dick. This uses the two red jacks, and when I did this for him, I said, Mr. Vice President, I said, watch the jack with only one eye. He went like this. But see, anybody could have made that mistake. Take those two cards, Dick.
I'm sorry, that was very funny.
Thank you. I tried it to be.
Yeah.
Are there any cards hiding in between the red jacks?
No, there aren't.
Okay, they go in together?
Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
Now, I want you to think, not say out loud, but just think of any card in the deck, couple restrictions. Don't think of the jokers. I don't have jokers in the deck. Don't think of either of the red jacks, because they're going to perform.
Okay.
But any other card that you want. Do you have a card in mind?
I do.
Here's what's going to happen. When I count to 3, you're going to name your card. When you name it, it jumps in between the red jacks that you put back.
No, it doesn't.
Trust me. 1. Look how excited. Well, I guess that's me. Okay, 1, 2, 3. What card, Dick?
3 of spades.
It's in between the red jacks.
No, it's not.
I would bet a lot of money on it.
No, it's not.
You don't want to bet.
No.
I'm not asking you. I'm telling you. You don't want to bet.
I don't want to bet.
I cheated. I brought 1 jack to the bottom and 1 to the top.
Yeah, okay.
I got them all, Dick. I don't care what you name. I got them all.
But you don't have the 3 of...
Sure I do.
Oh, so the 3 of spades.
Yeah, I know. It's dumb.
That's
it's dumb.
not a trick. That's
well,
a trick.
when I did it for Quayle, he went, not bad. So look, this is the real thing now. Here we go. 1 jack on the bottom, 1 on top, 50 cards in between.
Of course.
Hold your right hand palm up, palm down, I'm sorry. Good. Put your hand on top of mine. See how I rub the deck?
Yes.
Rub the deck. Say go.
Go.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
That jack's gone.
Yeah.
Is it in your hand?
No.
You had to look? What are you, numb that you can't? No, the other one's gone. Because what happened was they shot into the middle of the deck and they caught a card which is reversed.
Oh, no.
Now, you wanted the 3 of spades.
No.
The applause will be thunderous. Show them. Yeah, that's the way that works. That's the way that works, my friend. Good to see you again, buddy.
Society of American Magicians.
National Convention, MagicSam.com.
Well, there you go with those things. Now, the big problem for me, like I said up front, was I only had 3 minutes in each little segment. So I had to pick things that would look good on TV, and also that I could plow through very, very quickly. And the other thing that you need to think about when you're doing magic on TV is you're not really in control of the angles. So even though I could have done things that involved a lot more sleight of hand, there may have been problems. I may have had a hard time getting a good angle on it. The first trick, the 10-card poker deal, is by John Bannon and David Solomon, and it's called Mexicali Poker, and you can find it in John Bannon's book, Dear Mr. Fantasy, which has lots of tremendous tricks. It's one of my favorites. It's a 10-card poker deal that doesn't use the Jonah card the way the normal 10-card poker deal works. It's a fabulous trick. The second trick was the matchboxes that the magnetic matchboxes, or whatever it's called, the magnetized sympathetic matchboxes. Mark Mason sells those, and they're made by Bob Swadling, and it's really a Cadillac of a trick. It's really, really beautiful. And of course, I added the entangled photons and spooky interaction at a distance pattern. I need to say something about this. You know, I don't mind sharing this stuff with you. It was out there on TV. You could do me a favor and not use my presentation. I haven't published it. I mean, you can if you want, but the reason that the presentation rings true for me is I have a great interest in physics and science things, so I've read about a lot of that stuff. So when I talk about it, my enthusiasm comes out. Now, if you're not a person who's excited about all those kinds of things, then you're just going to be saying somebody else's pattern. So if you can, you know, come up with some other reason why those matchboxes do what they do, that's, you know, more power to you. The third trick was Leonard Green's trick, Stolen Cards, and it's just an elaboration of a trick called the Gemini Twins, not Brother John Hammond's Gemini Twins, but a trick that Carl Fulvis put in one of his self-working card trick books. And it's a fabulous trick. I've done this all over the place. Norman Beck, who writes for MUM, is a friend of mine. I've known him for 30 years. And he actually sent me some envelopes from SCA Promotions where he works. And that's an actual SCA Promotions envelope that I take the cards out from Norman. So it all, I was reading notes and I got off track there. Oh, it sort of adds a little bit of veracity to the trick. I see somebody's having problems with the audio, and other people are getting it fine. I don't think there's anything I can do here. I'm watching my little meter, and I seem to be going fine. And everybody else is clear. Good. And the last trick is a trick of Roy Walton's called the Smiling Mule, and it's one of the great tricks in card magic. Now, I happen to do it with a memorized deck. You don't have to use a memorized deck, but a memorized deck speeds up a process that you have to do near the end of the trick where you have to get a hold of the card that was named. And if you're interested in that, it's all of that about the Smiling Mule was explained in Workers Number 5. There's a whole chapter on memorized deck. There was a thing I saw on the chat notes that were coming through, somebody interested in getting into memorized deck magic. Your best thing to do, your absolutely best thing to do, is to go to simonaronson.com and download a PDF file, which is free, called Memories Are Made of This. And it'll tell you all about memorized deck magic. I'll type it here into the thing right now really quickly. And that'll help you out. Is memorized deck easy? Well, no. Is anything good easy? Probably not. So if you don't want to put in the time and you don't want to practice, then it's probably not for you. If you type up any other questions, I'd be happy to answer them, but it was a lot of fun working for Dick. He's a fabulous, fabulous, let me type that answer to Joe's question here right now. Boom, boom. And I'd like to also mention something else. You'll see in the next few issues of MUM, I've been really pushing reading. I've been really pushing reading. And, I guess my wife will get that, I hope. Well, it isn't hard to watch myself 30 years apart, and the reason that it's not hard is I'm glad I'm around to watch me from 30 years ago. A lot of my friends don't have that luxury. So, time passes. I've never really made any attempt to disguise the fact that I'm aging. At one time when I lived in Las Vegas and was working in the casino and still had a little more hair, I dyed it and dyed my mustache, and I looked so idiotic, I said, I'll never do that again. So I don't. I'm 64 years old, and I just deal with it. So that's the way it is. What else can I tell you? What I was talking about the reading. It's always frustrating that the way most magicians get their repertoire is that they've seen some other magician do the trick. And that's unfortunate. Because, and I see your question, Randy, and I'll get to it in 2 seconds. There are so many good magic tricks out there. There's a bazillion good magic tricks out there that nobody has taken the time to work out all the details. And if you do that, you'll have tricks that nobody else is doing. So even though, they're great tricks and other people have done them, but just because you see me do them is no reason for you to go out and do them. Not that I'm being protective, but it's much better if you find your old stuff. Randy's question is about the 10-card poker deal. No, there's 2 outcomes at the bottom of the 10-card poker deal. You either win with a royal flush or you win with a king-high straight flush. So either way is fine, and it doesn't have to be the royal flush. How do you bring close-up card magic to stage? Well, you do what everybody's doing now, and you get a cameraman up there, and that means the audience is watching a stage show on television, and I think that's... what's the word I'm looking for? Stupid. I think it's stupid. You don't bring close-up magic to a stage. You bring close-up magic to where people are, where they watch it close up. One of the problems in the States right now, and even in Canada where I live, is that there are no venues. There are no venues for guys to go out and be doing work and getting experience and getting flight time, working small magic for small groups of people. So, I wouldn't worry about close-up magic on the stage. It isn't designed for it. It isn't effective doing it. One of the problems that we have when we do Fool Us, of course, is to figure out how to shoot small magic so that everybody can appreciate it. There are ways to present things that can make the audience follow what's going on. But generally speaking, if you really want, I mean, even the guys who did, big, small stuff on stage, like Nate Leipzig, Leipzig did small stuff on stage, but what he was counting on was that the reaction of the spectators would sell the trick for the audience in the stage. So Theo says, are you saying learn some stage magic? No, I'm not saying that at all. If you want to be a stage magician, learn to do some stage magic. But if you want to be a stage magician, then don't learn close-up tricks, because you're only going to be presenting them like you're shooting them on a camera. It's TV tricks. I guess, did I answer everybody's questions? I am always available at mumeditor@gmail.com if you have any questions about anything. I guess with that, I'll sign off. Have a great night, guys. Nice being with you.
Well, thank you, Michael. I mean, that was just some outstanding advice. And I want to thank all the members who submitted videos tonight. S.Patrick was here, Alex the Cardman, Lou Johnson. You guys did some amazing, amazing stuff. A lot of magic. Like I said, it'll be online on MagicSam.com by the end of the week. Again, it's all because of the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain, John Midgley, who's recording this, and then sends it to Bruce Calver, who puts it all together and right on the website. So, bravo, guys. You did phenomenal. Oh, just so you know, this beautiful fan right here, it's Danny Orleans, AmazedKids.com, who is going to be here on April 19th. Some beautiful, beautiful stuff. So thank you guys for all attending tonight. I'm ready to get some rest because, like I said, I just got back from Omaha, Nebraska, so I'm tired. So, and thank you, John, on the other end. Thank you, Bruce. We'll see you guys next week next month, February 22nd, for Michael DeShalit. Take it easy, guys.